He was just always so kind and gentle and warm. He had a good sense of humor, and he was just delightful to be with. Setting aside politics and professional life, he was just a good friend to be with, and I think that warmth is something that our society needs more of.
He was a public servant through and through, and always a mentor, and considered him a friend. And I just appreciate his mentorship over the years, even from the first time I ran to the second time to the third time. He was always encouraging.
An emotional day for very many today. Just hours after learning that he had entered hospice care, news came that Fort Wayne Mayor Tom Henry passed away. We will talk about his life, his legacy, and what is next for the city ahead on First News. Good morning. It is Friday, March 29th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Pat Hoffman.
And I'm Emily Dwyer. Mayor Henry passed away yesterday at the age of 72. The news came almost a month after he revealed he was diagnosed with late-stage stomach cancer.
His political career spanned 4 decades. WANE 15's Ethan Dolan has more on his legacy.
This time I will call roll call. Councilperson Bradbury.
At the first city council meeting in 1984, with a simple word, Fort Wayne was introduced to its future.
Councilman Henry.
Here. While signaling one's presence with a simple "here" isn't profound in itself, Tom Henry declaring his presence was something that would last in Fort Wayne for years. He did it for 2 decades at city council meetings, serving Northwest Fort Wayne from 1983 to 2003.
I worked very hard as a city council member. I implemented some practices that now other city council members utilize.
But it was after losing his bid for his 6th term in the 3rd district that he really caught his big break.
Graham Richard decided not to run for a 3rd term. And some say he waited a little long to make that announcement that it put the Democratic Party in a very awkward position to try to recruit somebody.
But now, after 2 terms, Richard will not run for a 3rd.
So they came to me and asked me if I would. Initially, I said no. They ended up asking me a 2nd and a 3rd time, as well as asking my wife, who thought it was a good idea. So I ended up running, and the rest is history, as they say.
That history includes being a part of some of Fort Wayne's most important developments.
The helping with the design of the Martin Luther King Bridge. To be able to sit in a boardroom and help the architects and the engineers design that bridge and be an active part of that, to me was something that was very special. The Harrison hadn't been built, the Marriott hadn't been built, the parking garage was still being completed when I took over. So to be a part of that decision-making process as well.
Our primary objective in Fort Wayne is to keep us moving forward, so I think we'll be okay.
Henry was able to attend to that objective time and time again, winning re-election in 2011, 2015, 2019, and 2023. Serving that long meant that Henry also saw the city through some of its hardest moments, like how to proceed during the COVID-19 epidemic.
There was no reason why our employees should not be vaccinated.
And leading the city during a wave of protests in 2020.
What happened on Friday and Saturday night was a sad statement for this community.
Through it all, Tom wasn't just mayor, but also husband to Cindy Henry for nearly 50 years. Henry was known for her bubbly personality and being a friend to everyone in the Fort Wayne political scene.
One that knows her or have met her, you got a hug, you got a smile, and you got to hear that incredible infectious laugh.
Last year, Cindy was given a pancreatic cancer diagnosis.
I got a little bit of a disappointing diagnosis in September.
And shortly after Tom won re-election in 2023, Cindy passed. About a month later, Tom had a diagnosis of his own.
I have to unfortunately and regretfully announce that I too have been diagnosed with cancer.
At that announcement, Mayor Henry made a last promise to the residents that he served.
My promise to all of you still stands. We will work together to move the city forward.
And before passing on Thursday, March 28th, he kept that promise, keeping up appearances around town. WANE 15 caught him speaking at the Obama dinner this month. Just last week, he was at his beloved Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Bridge as new plaques were installed.
It's a good move.
Since the very first time, Tom Henry said, "Here." Fort Wayne residents have had someone dedicated to their city. And now that Fort Wayne's longest tenured mayor has passed, they're going to have to learn how to go on without him, holding his vision for the future.